Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. Welcome to Sit Down. Desi Lydic is here with us, remembering RBG, A Nation Ugly Cries, coming to Comedy Central. Desi, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I've gotten a lot of ugly crying out of my system. I think I'm good for this interview. We'll see. My 4-year-old is walking in right now as we speak. Can you give me 1 minute? Yes, you can have some grapes. Sorry. This is what it's like to work from home.
We're all dealing with it. I just got a new puppy. You have your son. Like that's what we got going on here.
Same.
So why don't we talk about the special? Because like you, I was obviously shocked when the news about RBG came through, and we're still grappling with it. And I think for a long time, we're going to be reckoning with it based on the fact that Amy Coney Barrett is now on the Supreme Court. So what was it like putting this whole thing together?
Yeah, I think right after I heard the news that she passed, there was this collective feeling that so many of us, especially women, felt this sort of like, oh, you know what, word I can't say on your show. And I was talking to a lot of my girlfriends at the time, one of them being our head writer, Melinda Taub, and some of the women at The Daily Show. And we all were just feeling this emotional roller coaster of grief, like feeling immediate sorrow and panic and denial and anger and just trying to wrap our mind around it. So we thought, you know what, let's see if we can make a special where we just take a step back and appreciate some of the accomplishments that she made. You know, she's a titan, and let's just like sit in her legacy for a little bit, celebrate that, and kind of go through this journey of experiencing the 5 stages of grief while speaking to experts, legal experts, and thought leaders about what's next. Where do we go from here? And it felt very cathartic to be able to work through some of that.
I think comedy also helps with that catharsis, because sometimes we want to cry or we want to laugh. So what was it like just putting a little humor in this? Like even asking Elizabeth Warren, like, are you ready to be our mommy? Like what was most important there in doing that?
She did say yes, for the record. So I will hold her to that. Yeah, I mean, there's always, I think so many times at The Daily Show, something will happen and we go, oh, how could we make this funny? This is so upsetting. But it's really the only way that I know how to work through something, you know, in the fetal position in my closet, which is how we spend about, 20 of the 21 minutes of the special. No, but it felt really cathartic. So many, we sat with a few different experts, and so many of the women had a funny, reaction to hearing the news. I think 3 out of 4 of them screamed F at the top of their lungs and had to go apologize to their neighbors shortly after, which I did as well. And, Rebecca Traister, who we sat down with, chugged a glass of wine on live TV. I mean, we all were kind of grappling with it in our own way.
What's most interesting to you about RBG's story? Because she did so many incredible things, but based on the conversations you had, what really sticks out to you about her?
The thing that just amazed me so much is that she had such an impact before she was even on the Supreme Court. She spent her entire career as a young lawyer fighting legal discrimination really all over the country, pregnancy discrimination. There were laws where men and women had different drinking ages, which for the amount that I've been drinking during this pandemic, I have her to thank for that. All kinds of laws. And she was so genius in the way that she approached it. She brought the justices cases where the injured parties were men. So, thinking ahead and going, how can I appeal to these 9 male justices? I'm going to bring them cases where the injured parties were men. It was a genius move, and she was playing the long game. And I think that's where I keep going back to, that she really was all about success in steps. It's a step-by-step process, and it's easy to get overwhelmed with the way things are, but being patient and really strategic about staying in the fight and staying active one step at a time is one of the most beautiful reminders from her.
She was really present in being in the fight, but also thought about the future. And I know there's a same-sex couple that you talked to in this special, and that's a perfect example where it's like these 2 men get married, and then that also impacts people going forward. So what was it like talking to those 2 guys?
It was great. We were so lucky. We were able to speak to a few people who knew her personally, had personal experiences with her. Those two gentlemen sat down and told their story of their wedding and what it was like to have her officiate their union and how meaningful it was. Nina Totenberg sat with us and told a very funny story about a theater outing that I hadn't heard on anything before. We spoke to the women behind the RBG documentary who talked about what it was like with her being on set, her, doing her CrossFit, her box jumps and planks, and that woman was stronger than I can ever imagine. So it was so special to be able to speak to people who had personal relationships with her.
I feel like this special comes at an important time. I also feel like The Daily Show really serves an important role. So when you think about your work, Trevor, everybody else, why do you think it really resonates with people at this time in this moment?
I think people want to laugh, and humor can be a great unifier. And, none of us know what's next, what we can expect. But at The Daily Show, we are in it. We are full on in election coverage mode. We're doing a live show on election night. It's going to be an hour long. None of us know what to expect, but we'll be there. We'll be cracking jokes. We'll be covering it. I think this has been a tough year for people. So being able to talk through it and work through it with comedy it's the way that I love experiencing it.
Desi, when people check out the special, what is one thing you want them to walk away thinking, whether it's about RBG, where we've been as a country, where we're going as a country? What's one little thing they could take away from this?
I hope that people feel some sense of catharsis with the state that we're in, and I hope that they can get a few laughs out of it and walk away feeling some comfort in that, because of the legacy that she's left behind, we have come so far. And yes, we have a long way to go, but it is a step-by-step process, and I hope that people feel some sense of optimism moving forward.
Well, Desi, thanks so much for the time. Really looking forward to it, and continue the great work on The Daily Show.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.